Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. We got some news coming out from down in Texas, as well as the natural gas realm at large. You probably use natural gas to keep warm in the winter, whether you're on electric heat and the power plants are running natural gas to keep you warm, or whether you're burning natural gas in your home to heat your home. If you're not using either one of those and you're just using wood heat, awesome. If you're heating some other way, cool. But a lot of us are using natural gas. Over in Europe, a lot of people use the natural gas, or they use electricity that uses a lot of natural gas. So the terminal down at Freeport, Texas, is a very large export terminal. Over the last year, the exports of the United States of natural gas around the world, 15% of it flowed through this one terminal, the Freeport terminal. Of course, they had a spontaneous combustion event in June, and the power plant and the terminal went offline. So basically, this is where they liquefy the natural gas so they can put it onto the tankers. And and then the tankers go and take it to Europe. A lot of it is going to Europe right now, but that terminal has been closed since June. They said that they thought that they would be able to get it operational by November. We're now hearing reports out there that they will not have it operational even through the end of December. This is impacting natural gas prices out there. Now, if you're in Europe, that's terrible news for you. If you're in the United States, it actually seems like it's, on the face of it, a good thing. However, a fair bit of natural gas needs to get up to New England by boat. And the reason for that is because there's a bunch of greenies up there and they keep blocking all the new natural gas pipelines. So natural gas pipelines haven't been built, and so there's only so much natural gas that can be moved from down in the mid-Atlantic states and the southern states up into New England. And New England has very limited natural gas storage facilities. But in the wintertime, they definitely need that natural gas to keep the lights on. It's so bad in wintertime that over the last 5+ winters, they have been forced to cut energy generation from natural gas because they don't have any more natural gas. And all the gas coming through the pipeline needs to go to residential customers in order to keep their lights on, to keep their homes warm. So they're keeping homes warm with the natural gas that's coming in, but they can't refill the tanks in order to keep natural gas electricity generation happening, which in the dead of winter, wind and solar are not producing nearly as much electricity. That's the fact of the matter. They have a hard time keeping up with things. Of course, they have to go back to burning coal or importing electricity from other states where coal is burned, to help the planet and stuff. They stopped those pipelines, good for them, and now they're suffering the consequences of that. Last winter, about 10% electricity generation had to go down because of the natural gas shortage last winter. So they had to shift over from letting all the natural gas go to the residential customers, and the natural gas power plants had to shut down to the tune of about 10% of the electricity mix had to drop. Where was that shortfall picked up from? Very simple. Mid-Atlantic states sent more electricity up into New England. But there's only so much those power lines can carry, because that hasn't been upgraded since people started buying electric cars and all that nonsense. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing, because the Freeport terminal is closed, spontaneously combusted, we're seeing lower natural gas prices inside the United States. That's good, sort of. Lower. It's all relative, right? It's much higher than what normally is, but it's lower than it could be. In Europe, prices are much higher. much higher, and it's cost effective to move it from the United States all the way over to Europe. But the problem is that we don't have the terminals and the terminal capacity to really pull that off. And also we're seeing over in Europe, they're having issues unloading the natural gas. They don't have enough terminals to unload it, and so they're getting a bunch of natural gas ships parked off their coast that they can't unload fast enough because, there's no natural gas shortage in Europe or anything. That's what they're telling us, but we're seeing some severe issues there. They're trying to get more natural gas onto the continent, but they can't because the terminals are all backed up. All that to say, there's a lot of issues going on right now with natural gas. The whole system of how the world got natural gas last winter for us in the Northern Hemisphere was very different than how North America and Europe are going to get natural gas this winter. And here's the fact. We haven't tested this before. We haven't tried cutting off the largest supplier of natural gas to Europe and still make it through the winter. This is a new experiment that a lot of people think is a great idea, but millions and millions of people's lives hang in the balance because of it. So unless you like being a guinea pig, you might want to think about stocking up for yourself. I keep saying, pick up some propane tanks. Get those 20-pounders, the barbecue 20-pounders. Someone suggested that you can go to dumps and perhaps get 20-pounders, empty 20-pounders for free. That might be interesting. You can go on Craigslist, Facebook. You can get empties or full 20-pounders. If you get empties, you can go to the store, refill them for like $20 now to get 20 pounds of propane. And that propane can keep you alive in the dead of winter, right? You get one of those little buddy heaters, and you can use that propane to heat your home or heat a room in your home and stay alive. This is big news. This is big news out there. I'm all dependent upon electric for my heat here at the house. That's why I've stockpiled firewood so that if need be, I can supplement with firewood or just move completely over to firewood if it comes to that. I have a little bit of propane too, so I'm going to be just fine during the winter here for the next couple winters if need be. How about you? Have you made decisions to kind of get your family a little more independent of the grid? That's some smart things to do. How are you going to stay warm in the wintertime? And if your plan is just to have more blankets, that's not so great. Now, if your plan is we have family members down in the south of the United States or somewhere warm, that might actually be a better plan. And that's something you need to be thinking about too, is at what point do you need to bug out from your home because it's just too cold? If I move down south to Florida, I'll be nice and warm. Visit my parents, you know. You need to be making those decisions. How will you stay warm if things get bad? Because when that cold storm hit Texas the other year, things were bad, really bad. And you don't know how far south the cold is going to go. A lot of people out there saying that every year the temperature is going to be going up. Other people out there are saying that over the next few years the temperature is going to plunge rapidly. You guys can do your own homework and figure out for yourselves what you think was going to happen, but you need to be prepared for it because electricity is needed when it's too hot and electricity is needed when it is too cold. And a lot of that comes from natural gas. So we're watching what's going on with the market. We're watching what's going on with the energy generation. But do your due diligence. Figure out how to stay warm. Figure out how to stay cool. Because that can be a matter of life and death. All right, folks, if you found this video useful, helpful, you might want to check out this other video from me right here. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar out.